I'm John Hardiker, I'm the director of Bob Cratchitt Retired. If you think of the old Scrooge Christmas Carol story, it kind of follows on from there. Scrooge has been reformed character and now has got a shop with Jane Marley, and Bob Cratchitt, who was the clerk, is now the manager of the store, and he's coming up to his retirement. And really the story is, well, you have to come and see it, but it's basically about what happens after retirement. And that is a big question for people in the past and certainly for the people in the future. And hopefully this story will give you some hope and some dynamic. If you are a retiree or coming up to retirement, what will happen to you, or the options are open to you, because Bob finds solace and he finds a purpose in life. And that's what the U3A is about.
It's Christmas Eve and spirits lift, for each of us and gather and offer. They shall be your festive gift. It's songs and sing shall be our special offer. To you from us, our prayer and kisses, with hope and auspicious, love and kisses.
I am David Davis and I play Bob Cratchitt. Bob is a character that represents many men and women who has retired, but work has been their absolute life. It's been their focus, it's been their identity, and suddenly they find that they've lost an awful lot without anything to replace it. It's just been years and years of work. So with Bob, as with many people, he's laying around the house, he doesn't know what to do, he's kind of aging, he's stressed, he doesn't know what to do, so he finds that the UA3A is a new life, that he can actually do the things which he didn't have time to do when he was working, with the children, with growing up, with paying a mortgage. He suddenly got time for things he would have liked to do, but never had the opportunity, or more importantly, the most important, time. And once he starts doing that, then he finds that his esteem comes back, his confidence comes back. He really feels like the person he should be, or was, if he hadn't have spent all his time focused on a job.
It's aimed at anybody, but we'll all end up at retirement. We'll all wonder what our future holds, and seeing the most part of our life is now going to be spent in retirement, then this gives you a chance to look forward and think, well, what do I want to do with my life after I retire, whenever that may be. We've got a talented cast between the ages of 60 and 85, including the backstage team. Challenged with people who are older, but they're taken to it like a duck to water. There's some experienced people, but a lot of people within the group have not really done much amateur theatre in their life in the past. So it's good for them to expand their mind and try things they've never done before, and hopefully we can entertain them with this musical.
We're coming today, we're walking around in beautiful homes in random impress. The greatest of children, what is regarding, presenting your presence, our presence. It's Christmas Eve,
Okay, well, in the early 80s, three people brought the U3A to the UK. It's an organisation that started in France, and it's for people who, more or less people who are retired, or at least over 50 and not working. And it developed from there. Then one of the people who brought it over was Dr. Eric Midwinter, and I was working with him at the Ethel Wormel College in Liverpool. He was the deputy director and I was head of music at the time. 50 years later, I'd been doing various musicals with this group, the U3A group, and this was my fifth one. And he emailed me and said, I've got an idea for a story. Would you set the music? So of course I said yes, and Bob Cratchitt Retired is the result. Well, I sort of act as a technician as well. I press the buttons to get the music on cue. Yeah.
So is this the first time you've directed a play with a group? Or?
No, I stood in as director for Santa's Secret Summer School, which was this time last year? I think it was this time last year. And also ended up being in it, playing the part of the dame. So this will be the second one I've directed, but this is the first one from scratch, right from the beginning, and laying it all out.
My name is Dorothy Prothero and I'm playing the part of Jane Marley. Jane Marley is the widow of Jacob Marley, but she's now fallen in love with Mr. Scrooge, who is a completely changed man. We rehearse once a week on a Tuesday afternoon, generally between 1 o'clock and 4 o'clock. It's good fun. Sometimes we just have dancing rehearsals and singing, and other times we go right through the script. Well, it's very hard because it's been in rhyme, so I found the best way to learn mine is if I sort of colour-code it.
How do you colour-code it?
Well, I've got one bit of script, I've got about 5 sections all in one go, so I've done it all in different colours, so I remember it by the colours in my mind. It's sort of moved on quite a while from Christmas Carol until the characters are actually old. Tiny Tim is now an old man, with Bob Cratchitt even older.
We are special offer to you from us, of parent Christmas, with our best wishes, love and kisses.
Well, as John said, it's something that everybody will come to, everybody retires. And retirement can be a very lonely time. People living at home, they've lost their job, they've lost their status in life. And the Youth Ray provides activities. It certainly helped me after my first wife died, and I'd had cancer, and I got involved in the Youth Ray, and it helped me tremendously over that very difficult period. Oh, I think it's a great social group as well. I mean, we go out for meals and we do things, and I think it gives a lot of people a purpose in life because, as John said again, many of the people involved in this show have never been on the stage before in their lives. What the Youth Ray does is to try and give people the experience of being involved in things that they would never have dreamt of being involved in before. Everybody wants to be in show business, don't they? And this is your opportunity.
And it represents so many jobs across all levels.
So you say it represents so many jobs, but is there any similarities to Bob and yourself then?
Oh, of course, yes, of course. I devoted, like most people, I had a work ethic, and I devoted most of my time and energy into work. And you forget that there is something else outside. You know, there is other things you can learn, you can do, you can be yourself. You know, for instance, I'm acting this part, an opportunity I would never have had while I was working. But I would far rather be doing this, and it gives me much more satisfaction than any day at work I've ever had. So I would recommend it to anyone.
How would you sum up the play in one sentence, or in a couple of words?
In one sentence, I believe it really does define, it opens people's eyes who may never have thought or recognised themselves after they retire. And this just gives them that window that there is another life if you're only willing to take it.
Well, here we are. This is where it's at. If you want to phone 01695 579 742, that's where you can get tickets. This is at the Ormskirk Civic Hall, as I said, in Ormskirk on the main road there, and the tickets are £8 for adults and £4 for children.